Daniel Jones is out, and I'm going to show you why Jalen Milroe should be the new face of the franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. Jalen Milroe film breakdown. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, before we get started, man, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, man, and don't forget to comment if you have any questions or concerns or just want to know more about Jalen Milroe. But let's get into the film. Jalen Milroe will break down a game against LSU and a couple other games just to show what he can do, right, and why I think he will fit in this New York Giants offense, right? And we're going to talk about the playmakers that the New York Giants have. So let's get into this film right here. Okay, cool. Very early on in the game right here, you see Jalen Milroe, first of all, right, making a check at the line of scrimmage, something that you want your quarterback to do at the end of the day. And so he gets up there, doesn't see what he likes initially, makes a check, but I'm going to show you why I really showed this play. Look at that. Low snap. And you say, okay, Keith, why are you showing me a potentially busted play? And that's because we know that in the NFL, everything is not perfect, right? And if we take the Giants, we know that the situation with Daniel Jones, it was his inability to overcome the non-perfect plays, right? Brian Daboll had to call a perfect play. Wide receiver had to call a perfect, wide receiver had to run the perfect route in order for Daniel Jones to operate. But watch this. You see a potentially busted play. It could be a sack, right? You're talking about a loss of 10, 15 yards, a momentum changer. But what does Jalen Milroe do? He turns a broken and busted play into a situation where it's a positive play, where they actually move the chains and you get a first down. So I'm going to replay it again. On busted play, offensive line is not on the same page, right? He has to scramble out of there, scrambles to his right, and then you see the arm strength, right? Almost a 20, 30-yard throw on a rope, on a run, and first down, right? And that's what you want to see, the ability to turn broken things into positive things. And that's one of the positives with Jalen Milroe and his ability to utilize his legs to be able to convert things into good plays. Here we go again. Obviously, we have a motion right here while we have a 2-1 set. They motion the wide receiver. He's going in a jet motion. So what does it do? It takes some of these defenders, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight a couple of them, right? Their eyes are starting to look there, right? They're starting to, this guy, he's starting to look there. And what you're seeing is that just the different attention and all of these things are things that I believe Brian Daboll will do and can do, right? We've seen him scheme up really good things. And so that's part of the reason why I'm buying in to Jalen Milroe playing with the New York Giants and what he can do in this system. And it's a called quarterback draw, right? Quarterback draw. You have the running back serving as the lead blocker here. And once he gets into open field, look at the burst and explosiveness, right? You can argue that he's the fastest guy on the football field, not just offensively, but defensively too, right? When he's in the open field, nobody's catching him. And you look at what running quarterbacks in the NFL and the ability that they have now to be able to change the game and shift the game, right? Is these type of plays is that, hey, you can simply call a run play for your quarterback with some type of motion in the backfield, and it's not just a 5-yard gain. It's not just a 10-yard gain. You're talking about almost a 70, 75-yard run by your quarterback. That means he's an offensive weapon at the end of the day. That means that defenses have to prepare for him, and they're worried about him and what he can do with his legs. And so I even think about when we talk about the 4-minute drill, right? When you're trying to wind down a game and then now people have to be accountable for him, that's something that shows you, hey, Jalen Milroe can be an X-factor game changer in an offense. Here we go again. Jalen Milroe, read option play. And I don't know if this play was by design, but what you see is Jalen is read option, right? But then he just tucks behind the running back. He converts the running back into the lead blocker. And then once again, you have another touchdown by Jalen Milroe. And this is my favorite part right here, right? We got to get some swag going back in New York. I'm going to rewind that a little bit, right? We got to get something going here and have a good time, right? Because it's been a while since you could say that a New York Giant quarterback has had that type of confidence, in this offense and like knowing, hey, I can change the game with my legs. So I wanted to start with the running plays. Then now you talk about, okay, Jalen Milroe, why insert him into this offense? It's not only about the plays that you can make, but it's about making your teammates better. There's been so much conversation about, obviously, the New York Giants deciding to let Saquon Barkley go. You probably won't get another Saquon Barkley again, right? But what you can do is you can draft a quarterback that can elevate his teammates. And so I want you to look at this run play right here. What we're going to do is obviously highlight the running back. And I'm going to tell you right now, right, it's some type of replay. But then look at this defensive end right here, right? And then also where the tackle is able to go. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. And because I just want you to see the impact that he has. Here you go right here. About to run the football. Boom. Stop it. Look at this. Braden Swinson. This is a top 100 player at the Draft Network, right? He's frozen. And he's practiced this all week. His defensive coordinator has told him, you cannot chase the running back, right? And so what happens is if he chases the running back on this play, this is a tackle, right? This is a tackle potentially in the backfield. But because of the threat of Jalen Milroe pulling the football and coming out of the gate this way, right? He's fearing that Jalen Milroe goes this way, right? If he crashes down, he's fearing Jalen Milroe runs out. And then guess what? Nobody's there. So he has to stay still and respect Jalen Milroe's ability to run. But what does that do? That opens up run lanes, right? That opens you up to where your running back can now get 10, 15-yard run, and you're moving the chains once again. So it's not just about Jalen Milroe's ability to impact himself, right? It's, okay, this guy will improve the run game. And if we look at dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL, you talk about Lamar Jackson, right? You talk about Cam Newton, years ago. You talk about Jaden Daniels. It's a reason why those guys usually, they're on offenses that have that rank near the top of the NFL and rushing, and that's because of those type of situations, right? They give you almost a +1 in the run game, and that's so huge right here. So now we're gonna look at Jalen Milroe because I think this is the part everybody wants to talk about, the passing, right? And over here at Face of the Franchise, the film breakdowns, we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, right, and the in between. And this right here, you see at the bottom of the screen, right, is a 2x2 set right here. Boom. Stacked wide receivers, right? Usually to get a wide receiver, some type of free release and things like that. And so we'll go ahead and press play from here. And you'll watch the wide receivers route. And they're going to push vertical right here. And I look at the New York Giants roster, right? And we see, and the reason I put this, hey, because this is something that Jalen Milroe has to improve on, right? But I wanted to highlight the arm strength is that, hey, this is a guy that can push the ball vertical down the field 50, 60 yards, right? But the accuracy part, the down the field accuracy, have to become more consistent with that part of it. And you think about the Jalen Hyatts, you think about the Malik Neighbors, right? They have speed. Wandale Robinson, they have these vertical push guys. And this right here, we get another 3x1 set, right? And so you're looking at it and you say, okay, cool, we probably have man in this situation. And that's what he's thinking, right? This guy, he's all the way up on him. He's probably matched with him. This guy's probably matched with him. This guy's probably matched with him. That was how it looked pre-snap, right? And we'll see what happened post-snap on this situation. Then boom, we get a classic, pretty much basically a classic slot fade, right? And they kind of almost reverse it because usually you'll see the outside wide receiver kind of run the short route. But what they do is he's going vertical. He's pushing vertical, and this is another opportunity to get the ball. Now, he overshot him by a lot on this one, and that's why I would say with Jalen Milroe, we definitely have to improve the down the field accuracy overall for him. But now we get to the Georgia game, right? Because the Georgia was another game that I'll say is a good competition, right? And he played fairly well, and I just wanted to make him making some different type of throws. So this is the very same throw. Boom, vertical shot, right? We say, hey, he needs to improve those type of situations. There we go. We have evidence that he can do it. A 101 bottom of the screen. New York Giants fans, this is your Malik Neighbors right here, right? You don't have to overextend him. Malik Neighbors is a great 50-50 guy. He's great at tracking the ball. He's great at coming back to the football. Instead of overshooting your wide receiver, give him an opportunity to come back. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying that's the type of plays that honestly will make Malik Neighbors get excited. Back here, back to the LSU game. Everybody's going to have a conversation. Can he read defenses and throw the ball across the middle of the field? So what you have right here, you got another 3x1 set at the bottom, right? And what you're going to get is you're going to get these wide receivers here and here, right? So it's some type of drive concept or some type of level concept to where you kind of just high-lowing defenders, right? And you see him, boom, come here. And you say, okay, that's an incompletion, right? But I want to show the end zone angle of this and how he hits the wide receiver clearly in his hands, right? He basically hits him in the face mask, and that shows you accuracy in the middle of the field. That shows you really good accuracy in the middle of the field. I'll rewind it to show it again right there. You can't make a better pass than that, right? And you're talking about, like I said, these speed wide receivers. These are the type of over routes they'll be running. These are the type of dig routes they'll be running, right? Ability to get separation and then hit them on the face mask, let them come down with the football, and then the playmakers that the Giants have, guess what? You have opportunity to make some big-time plays in an offense like this. So here we go. Now we're playing Georgia, right? And these are some more intermediate throws right here. So if you see the theme, right, I started with the run game, and then we did the deep ball, right, to show that he can make the deep passes, to show that, hey, he needs to improve the deep passes. But then now we're looking at it, boom, breakdown. You got one-on-one. Ryan Williams, the freshman phenom right here, is just sitting down, right? Just sitting down in the middle of the field, pitch and catch, right? And I say, once again, that's Malik Neighbors, right? That's him playing the X wide receiver on the backside of a route, combination. Boom, push vertical, sit down, get him an accurate pass. Let's move the chains. Let's move the football. It's a first down, and we're sustaining drives at the end of the day. So just really good football right here. Here we go. We had motion to the bottom of the screen. So now we have a balanced 2x2 set, right? You have a tight end right here. You have the wide receiver. You have two wide receivers at the bottom of the screen against what looks to be man-to-man, right? Jalen Milroe recognizes it, and look where you talk about throwing with anticipation. Look where he lets this ball go. Stop it. He's already throwing the football. The wide receiver has it coming out the route, and honestly, that's a PI, right? Like, that's going to get called in the NFL on top of that, right? But throws it, back pile on the end zone, touchdown. That's what you want, right? We talked about when we showed them the ability, right? Miss a couple throws, but can he make some deep ball throws in this offense? Does he have the accuracy to be able to get the job done? And I think he does. So here we go, last play right here. I wanted to show this too, right? Because we talked about that slot fade that he missed against LSU. Here we go. Once again, we had the slot fade right here by the slot wide receiver. Boom, I'll go ahead, highlight these two. I have a one-on-one matchup. Let's take advantage of it. Like I said, let's put our playmakers, give them an opportunity to make plays, and let's see what happens. Touchdown. And you get it over there before that safety, right? Because that safety is wrong. We'll be playing some type of cover one, right? Where you have a deep safety. First, you want to look at him, look the safety off, and then let it rip, right? And you throw that thing back pylon, you throw it over his outside shoulder. That's for him and the wide receiver, right? The defensive back cannot get to there. The safety that was trying to roam over can't get to there because you see that Jalen Milroe has velocity on his football. So at the end of the day, you ask me, right, what's a good fit? We look at Brian Daboll and what he was able to do with Josh Allen. So we look at Jalen Milroe and we say, hey, this guy has some accuracy improvement needs, right? That he needs to improve his down the field accuracy. Brian Daboll has been there before. You know what he needs? He needs a quarterback that has all of the tools, right, that he can groom and mold. And he's a really good play caller. So some of these things that we've seen as far as running the football, Brian Daboll can do that with Jalen Milroe. And then the New York Giants in the past have invested into their wide receiver core, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt. They have Theo Johnson at tight end. And then you have the playmaker Malik Neighbors. So that's one reason why I think the New York Giants should definitely be looking at Jalen Milroe as the face of their franchise quarterback.